Hello, my friends. Today is Sunday, July the 6th, and this means it is time for market update on major ticker symbols. And on today's video, I will show you the recap of the most interesting ticker symbols for the last week. And what is more importantly, I will show you my thoughts in regards to its upcoming movements. And on today's video, I will cover these ticker symbols: SPY, QQQ, SOXL, Amazon, Google, Tesla, Nvidia, Netflix, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, and Bitcoin. And guys, I am a trader with about 13 years of experience. And if you watch my videos for quite some time, you know that my forecasts are quite accurate. That is why you can rely on my technical analysis as a part of your due diligence. On top of that, if you want to know more about technical analysis, if you want to enhance your trading skills, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel and to join my Patreon account. And guys, I'm recording this part of the video on June 28th, and within less than a week I will close some of cheap member tiers. And let me show you just a sneak peek on the most recent call that I made just 2 days ago. You know that yesterday on Friday's session on June 27th, Coinbase lost substantial amount of its value. And I made this set of posts the day before on Thursday. You can see it right here. It is June 26th, Thursday, June 26th of this year. And this top I caught to the tick. I made it for my patrons, and the major sell-off happened the very next day on Friday. And guys, you can see that I made a perfect call, and it is not the only call that I made. You can find other similar achievements in the pattern articles. And that is why, guys, if you want to be a part of this community, feel free to join my Patreon, because within next several days you will not have these lucrative prices. So, and let's begin with SPY index. I have to admit that for the last couple of days, for Thursday and Friday, this asset had a substantial movement to the upside, and it gained to its value about, wait a second, 1.3%. And this means, guys, it is still printing its higher highs and higher lows. And I still expect that it has to have a cool down. And guys, no one is perfect, and if the asset is printing its extensions in the last wave, and for now we are witnessing exactly this behavior on the several of the major ticker symbols. This means, guys, you should rely on the confirmation of its trend reversal, and the confirmation will be breakout below previous swing lows. And guys, let me explain you what does the extension mean. I believe I did it on Meta on a daily time frame. Yes, here it is. Extension in the last wave is nothing else but the price action, where instead of one wave, one ending wave of the major cycle, it has several internal waves that are similar to previous waves in terms of its size. This means, guys, we should rely only on a real breakout below the range of support, and I will show you what I'm talking about within just a couple of minutes. So, let's zoom into SPY index, and let me show you that according to Elliott wave theory, guys, from this bottom that was established on June 23rd, this asset is forming several movements to the upside. And according again to Elliott wave theory, potentially it has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 waves. This is the first potential, not first, but this is the another extension in this wave, and it can be the top. It literally can be the top of the C wave that might be the local top for at least several weeks. And guys, what should be the confirmation of its movement to the downside? Let me show you that if it breaks its previous swing lows, one of the crucial is this one, the level of about $610. Next one, the most important, is this one, $591, which implies about 5.32% of downside potential. And I have a lot of doubts that this movement will happen within just 1 week. But when it happens and when this bottom is broken, it will be a first but very important and very I would say powerful confirmation of its local trend reversal. Otherwise, guys, if you just see a tiny retracement that are not breaking its previous bottoms, in this case it still has a chance to print several more higher highs and higher lows on a smaller time frames. That is why be cautious with your position, but I prefer to leaning towards the bear count, and this means, guys, well, I told to my patrons, do not overcomplicate your trades with long positions. Most likely the trend reversal will happen within next from days to a couple of weeks at most. That is why you have to be prepared for this. So next one, QQQ. And QQQ is pretty much in the same position. It also printed its all-time high, and it prints higher highs and higher lows on each and every scale from the bottom that it hit back in the beginning of April. And if my count is correct, guys, we don't have a lot of room to grow, because if you take a look at indicators, wait a second, I will show you right here. If you take a look at indicators, they are at extremely overbought condition on a multiple time frames, and some time frames even show us the bearish divergence. We clearly see lower highs on our side with the higher highs on the price action. This means this movement to the upside, well, it is nearing to its top. That is why, guys, be prepared for the quite substantial and probably quite harsh retracement. Next one, SOXL. And this is quite interesting ticker symbol. It is leveraged ETF based on semiconductors industry. And guys, take a look right here. It also prints higher highs, and we right here we can clearly identify its extension in the fifth wave that I just showed you on a meta example. We had so from this bottom it has 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the fifth wave. And the fifth wave has an internal waves that are quite similar to the previous waves. Guys, take a look right here. This is the internal first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave, and again another extension in its fifth wave. And again we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And guys, for now I have in my trading career I saw only once or twice 3 extensions in the fifth waves. Usually it happens only once in the fifth wave, or twice at most. That is why, guys, potentially it is nearing its top, and most likely it should go to the downside from this point, or on a smaller time frame it has not the highest chances to hit a little bit higher targets. That is why, guys, be cautious with your long position as well, and take a look at its indicators. You can see that, wait a second, I will switch to daily time frame. Right here it forms another quite interesting pattern. And it is nothing else but an ending diagonal. And this type of patterns usually break to the downside. And when RSI breaks this lower border of this formation, it means that the substantial movement will happen on its price, in its price. On top of that, guys, it has a diminishing momentum according to MACD indicator. This means, despite the fact that I cannot identify bearish divergence on a daily time frame on RSI, but I see bearish divergence on MACD indicator, and the alert wave theory makes me thinking that it is scratching its top. That is why be cautious with your long position on SOXL as well. So let's switch to Magnificent 7, and the first stock is Amazon. And Amazon, well, let's switch to hourly time frame. I made my previous video somewhere at this point, and since I made it, and my main assumption was that potentially it is the top of the B wave in retracement, we have an attempt to form. Amazon has an attempt to break its previous swing low, but instead of this, it is still moving sideways, and it doesn't show a lot of weakness in this price action. that is why, guys, to be honest, I don't like this type of price action where instead of retracement and instead of consolidation phases, the asset forms another pattern that is not staying in line with its bigger picture. But definitely, somewhere in the future, and I prefer to make to do just one step at a time, and that this means I think within 1 week or so it should break its previous swing lows, and I still stand on my position that the market in general is at extremely overbought condition. That is why the cool down should happen not only with the broad indices but with the Magnificent 7 as well. So let's switch to Google. And Google is in quite similar position as Amazon, and as I showed you just a minute ago, but it didn't, instead of Amazon, you can see that Amazon broke its previous swing highs, but Google didn't do this. It formed its top right here, and in my opinion, it is the top of its fifth wave that it formed from the very bottom on April the 7th till this point. And this is the ABC to the downside as a part of its first A wave. This potentially might be a B wave to the upside, and for now it didn't break its swing high. It is a good sign for the from the technical standpoint. This means, guys, if this top holds, let me show you. If this top holds, you can see that it is double top pattern. We might see a quite substantial retracement to the downside that should retest. Let me show you its crucial levels of support. One of them is definitely this sloping line. It is the line that connected several bottoms in 2024 and 2025, and on top of that it acted quite good right here during this retracement. And if it happens, I mean if the movement to the downside occurs, the first level of support will be this sloping line. That is why you have to be prepared for this, and if it breaks it to the downside, the next point of control will be definitely $162.53. So let's switch to Tesla. And yes, Tesla, let me delete unnecessary tools because I make a lot of analysis, additional analysis in between of my videos. Tesla is in line with my forecast, and I showed you that if it breaks this level of support of $313 to the downside, most likely it should land lower and it should retest the level of $273. And guys, in my opinion, this is the bottom of the A wave. It is forming right now the top of the B wave, and another leg to the downside might happen within a week or so. We know that from the fundamental standpoint, Tesla doesn't have quite amazing results in terms of its sales, but at the same time, guys, in general, Tesla has a lot of supporters, not only from the so-called smart money investors, but from the retail investors as well. And that is why it has a substantial volatility. And in my opinion, the next point of control right after it forms this top is the level of about $276, somewhere here. And yes, let's switch to Nvidia. And Nvidia, as I mentioned in my previous video, is still in uptrend. And again, if I make a breakdown from this bottom, it formed only first, second, this might be the third, this is the fourth, and it is forming its fifth wave to the upside, extension in its fifth wave on a slightly bigger scale. Does it mean that from this point it can go higher, well, to 170, 180, or even $200? No, guys, it doesn't, because it has to have a substantial decline. It has to have this cool down at least for several weeks in order to collect more steam to hit higher targets. But yes, for now it is very bullish, and it Did it break? Yes, it broke its all-time high levels that it established back in January of this year. And yes, technically speaking, this level becomes a level of support, and it is not far from our current price. It is at $154.14. But to be honest, guys, this entire movement, and I have to adjust this tool right now. I don't need this tool anymore, at least in the short-term perspective. These levels, if it has a trend reversal from this current point, these levels of 0.236 at $143.35 and this level of 0.382 at $132.31 might be the first levels, first points of control on its movement to the downside. That is why, guys, I also don't suggest you to enter your long position on Nvidia because it has to have more clear retracement. So Netflix, let's switch to Netflix. And yes, Netflix is in quite similar position as Nvidia. And again, on a bigger scale, it is still in its fifth wave. Let me turn on the wave of this. Wait a second. It is right here. It is in its fifth wave. And let's switch to daily time frame. From this bottom, from the bottom that was established on May 25th of 2022, it formed first, second, third, fourth, and it is forming right now the fifth wave. Let's again turn off the wave itself in order to have more clear price chart. And the extension in the fifth wave usually might hit 0.786 if I pull a fib extension tool from the bottom of the third wave to the top of the third wave and to the bottom of the retracement. This means, guys, in my opinion, $1,380 is the price target for a Netflix in the short-term perspective. And take a look right here. This green rectangle is nothing else but the potential price target that I marked back in the days when it formed this bottom, and it hit this price target already. Take a look right here. It already hit this price target. This means, guys, if you take a look at its indicators, you can see that it is also in a quite overbought condition. Even on a weekly time frame, it consistently forms lower highs on RSI with the higher highs on the price action. This means, guys, be cautious with your long position on Netflix as well. Let's switch to Apple. And Apple, guys, in the short-term perspective, on my previous video, I told you that it is approaching to its apex of this formation. And I told you that if it breaks the upper border of this formation, it will definitely hit this yellow line at $214. Or if it breaks this line to the downside, this lower border of this formation, it has to hit $189.79. And as you can see, it happened exactly as I predicted. It broke this sloping line, and for now it is scratching this top. Does it mean that it can break it this week? Well, the likelihood is not so high, I would say, because in general we already had 2 attempts to break this level, even 3 attempts with this top, but so far this line holds pretty good, and in my opinion it has to have at least some kind of cool down, and this cool down might happen this upcoming week, and then if the fundamental news supports this movement, it should break it, I think, within 2 weeks or 3 weeks at most. So let's switch to Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft is in quite different position. It is still printing its, well, not the best in terms of its structure, but it is staying in line with my forecast and with this line that I drew back in the days. Because this line, guys, is the crucial trend line for Microsoft. When it breaks it, and believe me, it happens in foreseeable future, it will have a massive retracement. And guys, why I cannot predict its exact trend reversal? Because these choppy movements is extremely difficult to evaluate from the Elliott wave perspective. This means, guys, 10 different eliticians might make 10 different breakdowns of this wave. That is why, guys, the only crucial sign of its potential trend reversal will be a breakout below this sloping line. That is why you have to be prepared for this. Next one, let's switch to Meta. Well, Meta is potentially Meta has already formed its top, its swing high, and it is potentially it started its movement to the downside to this retracement. And well, the confirmation of this retracement will be definitely breakout below, first of all, this level of $679, and then, guys, I think it should have some kind of bounce out of this range in order to form its B wave, and then it should have another leg to the downside. And yes, it might take several weeks to form this pattern, but in general, as long as this top holds, as long as the price doesn't break this top, we can confirm that it is in a short-term downtrend, at least for the upcoming week. So, and what do we have? So, Bitcoin. Let's switch to Bitcoin, and I made my previous video somewhere at this point when it hit its local top at $108,000, somewhere here. It formed this well, let's mark it like this. Potentially it is an ABC correction with an extension in the B wave. And from this bottom, guys, technically speaking, it is more than enough to count on this, to rely on this bottom as the local bottom. And if it breaks this previous swing high, most likely it is in an uptrend, and with a quite high probability it will break its all-time high at $112,000. Or if it breaks this bottom, guys, it means that something more complicated is happening with Bitcoin. That is why, guys, I don't see any substantial extremes on the indicators of Bitcoin. That is why it is too difficult to make an assumption at which point this asset is right now. That is why, guys, be cautious with Bitcoin and wait for the confirmation of its movements. So I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the